So, my Spanish is really getting me places out here. It's been a long time since I have been immersed in this kind of setting. It was the last time I was here. And not only that, but el español del campo, something different. Something different. And already my comprehension is like nivel básico. So I'm like doing my best every day to be like really alert and really present and really like eager to learn and do everything. And so the other night, Edwin, who for me is like boss level, right? Like if I can even one day understand Edwin at 80% comprehension, I've ascended. So he invites me to go somewhere. Like I get that. And what I hear is, hey, do you want to go to our friend's house and eat chicken? And I'm like, absolutely, I do. And he's telling me about it. It sounds like there's gonna be I'm envisioning a small group of people, like it's just like a little gathering of friends, and we're gonna have dinner with them, and they're serving chicken. So I'm like, absolutely, like, Colombian campo party, I'm in. So imagine my confusion then when a little bit later that evening I'm called to the table for dinner. That was my first red flag, that I didn't catch what he said. So I'm like, okay, well maybe they're coming here. But then I'm looking at what we're eating. There's no chicken. No chicken. So I'm like, okay, maybe it got called off. Maybe it's another day. So many possibilities, right? But after we eat, Gloria comes out. She's like dressed to the nines. Like she looks good. So I'm like, okay, it's on. We are going somewhere. And Edwin was like, okay, time to go. Get in the car. And I'm like, me too, right? Because like now I already know that I missed something. And he's like, yeah, you said you're coming. Let's go. So I get in the car. And I'm not dressed well. I'm like in my sweaty clothes from the day. And I'm just like, whatever. So we get in the car and we go down the hill. And we stop at his parents' house, or we stop at Gloria's parents' house, where her brother Edimer lives. And that's the first farm that I stayed at the very first time I came to Colombia. So I'm like, awesome, I haven't seen Edimer yet. Like, now I'm like, oh, it is a party. We're going to a party. And like, chicken is the party favor. So I ask, Edimer's coming. And they look at me and they're like, Edimer's not coming. Why would Edimer be coming? I was like, in my head, I'm like, because he's a young guy and he likes to hang out. But no, Eugenio and Selfa were coming. So they come, Gloria's parents, they get in the car. And we start making our way down the hill. And we're like going down the hill. Which then I'm like, we're not staying in the campo. We're going into town or somewhere else. I don't know at this point. So we end up in town. We stop for gas. I'm still like, I'm just kind of like laughing to myself because honestly, this is not the first time that something like this has happened. In fact, this would be the fourth. So I'm like, let's just see what happens. Like, do I ask for clarification? No, because let me tell you, it is much better to be surprised. So we continue on. And at some point, Edwin just like pulls over in what I would consider the middle of nowhere. We're just like on some dark street and he's like, get out. So I get out, we all get out. And I'm looking at Gloria, and she's like kind of uncomfortable. Like, it kind of looks like she doesn't quite know where to go. So I'm like, what are we doing? Like, this is your first time here? This is my first time here? And she's walking really slow, and she's kind of like, where is everybody? So I'm like, was it supposed to be a street party? Did we get the day wrong? Who knows? I'm just here to find out. So we continue on. We're walking down this little street. And it's super cute. I was like, man, if I lived in San Agustin, this is the neighborhood I would want to be in. And anyway, we kind of get to the end of the street, and I see all of these chairs like spilling into the road. And so I'm like, oh, we're going to church. Because the first time this happened to me, I ended up at church, where they auctioned off guinea pigs and a rooster, which I thought was funny. But anyway, we get closer, and I'm like, no, this isn't church. There's a picture of a man on the outside of this home, and it's not Jesus. And then this woman comes out, and we sit like in the very back, like the furthest back chairs. It's like kind of lined up like pews. So we sit there, and this woman comes and she offers me a little candy. So I take the candy, and we're waiting, and she's like, what are you doing sitting back here? Come to the front. And Gloria is uncomfortable, and she's looking at Edwin like, we left too early. And I'm still like, so what is this? And so we walk in, and it becomes very clear where we are and what we are doing. This is not just any social gathering. This is a funeral. And I was so floored by this that I got a case of the giggles. And I was choking back my laughter the whole time. And rest in peace, Don Luis. Please don't haunt me for this, for laughing at your funeral. It was beautiful. I'm so glad that I was there to wish you well in the ethos. But I was not prepared, and I was not dressed appropriately. And everybody was looking at me like, so what are you doing here? Did you know Don Luis? No. But at the end of the ceremony, we did get chicken empanadas. So I wasn't too off. It was a gathering, and we did eat chicken. So there's that. And if there's any lesson in this, let life surprise you. You have more fun. You have more fun that way. I could have never predicted this. Grateful for the experience, because it was an experience. And this is probably the most inappropriate footage that I have ever filmed in my entire life. But I had to document at least a second of it. I just had to.
Concédele, Señor, el descanso eterno. Concédele.
And then again, someone took a phone call in the middle, so I didn't feel too bad about myself filming, but anyway. That's life.